These are going to look really cool on my patio. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, July the 18th, 2022, vlog number 272, and this is day 860 of COVID. It's not over yet. Sorry. Okay, let's jump into what I have been working on. And you have seen this in bits and pieces before, but now it's completely done. This is the Christmas wreath made with that special little tool. And it is a tedious thing to make, I found anyways. But the end result, I guess, is worth it. It's all quilted, as you can see. It's got a binding on it and a bow. And it is now sitting in my stash of possible Christmas presents, things I might actually give away. Although this one took me a lot of time, I kind of like it. I may just find a place here for it at Christmas time in my house. And I am working on a Christmas quilt. Just let me slide this over. Here we go. This is not finished yet. This is just the top, and I still have a top and bottom inner border to put on, and then a set of borders all the way around, and then I can layer it and get it quilted. I'm thinking of going very bold on the quilting with this because there's a lot of white space here, negative space, and even the stars themselves, although they are not solid fabrics, they tend to read more solid than anything else. So I'm thinking I might do a really Christmassy red or green thread for my quilting and do a edge-to-edge design that's really going to show up. So what'll happen is, in my mind anyways, my theory, is that the stars will all become background, and really the focus of this quilt will be the quilting. And that means everything needs to go perfectly. I'm living dangerously here, but hey, what the heck. It's only a Christmas quilt. It only comes out once a year, or this could be another potential gift. I don't know. We shall see. So those are the things I have been working on. So I've been a busy boy. And that takes me then to YouTube channel of the week. This one is basically a segment from a YouTube channel that I have reviewed before. And the reason I'm showing you this is because it's a new toy. No, I am not getting one, he says. Yeah, I'm not really planning to, because there's things involved in order, not just the cost, but setup and things. Because this, what I'm talking about, is a laser cutter. And if you don't know what a laser cutter is, they're all the rage these days. They cut everything from wood, paper, they'll etch on glass, they do all kinds of things. But because they are burning, they give off fumes, and those fumes have to go somewhere, and you don't want them really in your house. So you have to vent them. So that means, put a hole in your wall. I don't know, not really prepared for that. And to be honest, I'm not sure how much a use I would get out of something like this. However, it's a gadget, and I love my gadgets, and that's why I was attracted to this particular video, as you will see. This week's YouTube channel segment comes from a channel that I have reviewed in the past called Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts. But the reason I'm mentioning this one this week is not so much for a tutorial or on how to do arts and crafts, but basically a product review for something that seems to be very trendy right now. A lot of people are getting in on these devices, and I have to admit that I'm interested in them myself, and that's laser cutters or engravers. These machines are very, very expensive, although there's a lot of models out there now that have come down in price. Like anything in technology, when it's first new, it's very expensive, but as time goes by and the demand becomes greater, the price seems to go down. I'm very curious about these devices. The one reason why I don't purchase one is not so much because of the price, even though the price has come down, but it's because I do believe they need to be vented. Now, having said that, this particular one that uh, on this YouTube channel that's being shown seems to have built-in filters, and it does come with a kit for venting it to the outside. Um, but the individual showing this is actually just using a fan, like a type of, draft fan that you might use in a oven hood or something like that. Um, they look like they work really, really well, and they can burn a variety of objects. I'm still a little unclear as to the safety level of these devices, although this particular one being shown, and many of them, are in an enclosure and do have built-in safety features, because you're essentially burning something with them. But if you have thought about this new technological toy and you might be interested in it, I would check out this particular video, but I'd also do a search on YouTube for other videos for other manufacturers of laser cutting tools, just to get an overall view of whether or not something like this would suit your needs. So the link to that video is in the show notes below. There's a link to Stephen and Walter Live, as there always is every week. And we talked about, as we usually do, just whatever came up. So if you're interested and weren't with us on the live, the rebroadcast is there for you to check out. There is a link to the Idiot Quilter Presents using the Tiny Twist It tool and Holiday Wreath. I show you the tutorial as to how I made that wreath that I just showed you, and how I used the special little tool that goes with it. And there is an interview up, if you haven't seen it already, with a fascinating lady, Kris McNeill, from Sew the Distance. That's her YouTube channel. And she really loves to get into, well, all kinds of things about quilting, but she does especially like to dissect antique quilts. And what I mean by dissect, I mean analyze them. How were they made? What were they made from? When were they made? That kind of thing. And I find that really interesting. So that's part of the interview as well. So if you're interested, do check out that interview. And there is a link to the Idiot Quilter episode 175, where I talk about all kinds of things on there. And I think there's even a link, and there is, what do I mean? Do I think I know there is a link to this week's So Chatty. And we talk a little bit about the problems I was having with my Accuquilt. And I'm going to say a little bit more about that later on. There is also a very detailed description of the event that's coming up at the end of the week, this Friday, which is July the 22nd. And that's, you've heard me talk about this on every one of my videos for the last 6 weeks, the International Stitch Marathon. And if you're interested in joining us for that, then please do. And all the details are in the show notes. So that takes me to what's outside my window today. Somewhere in here. I just have to find the picture. Oh, there we go. And the picture isn't a very good picture, as you're going to see. Yes, it is raining. Now, I see when I took that picture too, I sort of got my camera controls in the picture as well. But anyways, it doesn't really matter, because that's what we're looking at today. It is rain. Now, we can use the rain, and that's great. And I don't know if it's going to rain all day today. Right now it's 20 degrees, so it's nice out. I've opened up my patio door. Checked first to make sure rain isn't coming in. But yeah, I think it's one of those kind of rains that when it does stop, everything's going to look really fresh and lush again. And that's not a bad thing. So that's the kind of day we are having right now at about 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So that takes me to, turn the page over. What's pissing me off this week? Well, nothing, really. Well, that's not true. There's always something to get you goat during the week. Like, for example, later today, when I'm finished doing this, I have to get on the phone to the people who manufacture the Ring doorbells. We bought a new one. We've had one for a while, and we went through sheer hell trying to get it to work. I think it is now working now. If I just check on my phone, I'm hoping it's working now, or I will not be a happy camper, because I have no idea what this thing is doing and not doing. So let's just see if this loads up. This is what I'm looking at. Oh, there it is, the view from outside my door. So yes, it is working now. But here's a problem I have to investigate today with the ring. I have a protection plan that I pay $60 a year for, and apparently, now that we have the new ring up, that does not apply to it. And why that's a problem is it gives you a roll. It keeps a history of everything that it has been taking pictures of, like when somebody comes to the door. And that's part of their little plan, another subscription plan. You know how much I love companies that do subscription plans. Just who needs? I mean, we have a ton of subscription plans, don't we? All of us. For this, that, and the other things, hard to keep track of them, but they don't have any problem taking our money every month, whether we're to keeping track of things or not. But anyways, I digress. So I need to call them today and see if I can have my plan, which just renewed, transferred over to the new camera. I've done some reading on their online site, and it doesn't really tell you anything about that. But they highly recommend that you buy another plan for another Ring device. I'm not doing that. So we'll see what I get out of this today. But that's really not what I was going to talk about. I want to talk about something more positive. And that is, I mentioned already I had a problem with my Accuquilt die cutting machine. Now I've had that machine, for 2 months, I guess, maybe. Um, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But one thing that I was always a little concerned about, and I should have acted upon this sooner, is when you plug in the adapter, which is, connected to the power brick kind of a thing, and it's a pin and hole thing. You've seen them. The little pin is on the inside of your machine, and there's a hole, and I'm trying not to do what I did on So Chatty, okay? Uh, there's a hole. There's a pin. You get the rest, right? But anyways, um, it's always been a little tight. I've had to wiggle it around and fiddle with it to get it to go in. And I figured it might loosen up with time. Well, it didn't. Well, yet it did. Yeah, it loosened up so much that the pin dropped off inside the machine. Not good. Not good. So I immediately sent an email off to Zach at Quilting to see what he could do for me. I figured the most he could do is, because it was pretty much figured it was still under warranty, but who knows? These warranties cover nothing. Usually they'll blame it on me. They'll call it user error or whatever, and it'll avoid the warranty. But anyways, here I am with $1,000 machine that doesn't work. So I sent off an email to Zach, and he got right back to me, and he said, well, it's still under warranty. He says, bring it into the store. We'll take a look at it. And if I can't fix it, he says, I'll just give you another one. Okay, I was expecting more. He'd say, take a look at it. If he couldn't fix it, it'll have to go back to Accuquilt, which is in the United States. And Accuquilt has horrible customer service, from what I've heard. Haven't experienced it directly, but I've seen lots of things on Facebook where people complain about them constantly. And 6 months later, I might get it back if I'm lucky. I was even prepared to, if that's going to be the scenario, I would buy a lesser model, one with a crank. Mine's electric, and bite the bullet and use that until the other one came back. And then I'd end up with two of the suckers. Not the most ideal situation. Also, even the crank ones are not that cheap. So, but anyways, took it back in to Quilting. Zach was right there. He looked at it. He knew what I was talking about. He unscrewed the bottom. I could have done that too, but I didn't want to, because when you start taking things apart, that voids your warranty. And he looked in and he said, yep, the pin has dropped off the circuit board. Meanwhile, one of the staff came right down into the store with a brand new one for me, as Zach was working on this. I mean, Zach knew that he wasn't going to be able to fix it. But he checked anyways, because I imagine he's sending it back to Accuquilt and say, look, customer returned, this is what the problem was, blah, blah. And I really hope that for Zach, that isn't too much of a problem. because he's a great person. He really looks after me. He looks after all his customers this way. And yeah, I'm impressed. I am so impressed. And you've heard me say that before, that I use Kawartha Quilting's customer service as my gold standard. Okay. Between Kawartha Quilting and Ultimate Sewing, I am so lucky to have both places excellent customer service all the time. So I happened to mention to Zach while I was there, I would like to interview him and have a tour of the store for you, for my viewers. That would be something that I would post on the Idiot Quilter. Um, and he said, sure, that would be great. He'd love to. So I've put together a plan and some questions. I sent them off on the weekend to Zach to get his input for those, and any changes he wanted to make and that kind of thing. And once I hear back from him, we'll set up a date and a time, and away we'll go. And I think you'll find that very interesting. So yeah, what's pissing me off this week? Nothing about Kawartha Quilting or any of those other places that I deal with. Again, it's the same old, same old. If you have good customer service, you will give the company repeat business. If you have bad customer service, you won't. And I guess I'm about to find out what kind of customer service I'm going to get from the people at Ring. I'm anticipating not the gold standard that has been set by Kawartha Quilting and Ultimate Sewing. Okay, so that takes me to product reviews. Well, of course, it was my birthday last week. All about me. Yeah, it is. And I just want to show you here. Oops, I can't. I'm looking for my picture. That's why. Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay. So, Walter surprised me with a birthday present. Now, you say surprise me. Don't people give gifts at birthdays? Well, yes, but we don't. Well, we do and we don't. Um, anything that we ever need, we just buy for ourselves. So we are very difficult people to buy a gift for. And Walter already gave me a birthday present. When I got my new Mac laptop, Walter gave me a docking tool thing, a very expensive one, so I can hook in a lot of peripherals. Because one thing about Macs that is different from PCs, they have very few connections on them, which I don't get why that is. So you need to buy docking tools and things like that. Well, this one, Walter, of course, did his research, and it's one of the best on the market. He ordered it a long time ago because they were out of stock, and as soon as they came in stock, they were going out. So he got right on it, got me one, and gave it to me when I first got the Mac. It's an expensive little device. It's about $500. And he says this is sort of an early birthday present. And I said, well, thank you. Don't be getting me anything else. But he did. And you can see them here. What are these? Well, the Janome box has an RE28B hoop, as it says on the outside. That is a hoop that does not come with your embroidery machine with the 550E. And although it comes with 4 hoops, and there's a hoop bigger than this one that it comes with as well, this is sort of an in-between size, which, believe it or not, and I don't know if Janome thought about this, but I have a feeling they did, is really a very handy size to have. Don't ask me the dimensions of it. I'm not sure what they are. But Walter had one. But he bought a third-party hoop, but it's exactly the same one. So we suspect that whatever company makes the hoops for Janome's embroidery machines, they make them for everybody, kind of a thing, So anyways, he got me that. That is not a cheap little item, okay? That's about a $200 item. And then he bought me this box of threads. Now, he claims that Shirley enticed him with this one. She's an influencer, okay, at Ultimate Sewing. And so he bought this because I'd been looking at variegated threads for quilting. And so she just happened to have a box of Floriani variegated threads. And so he got me that as well, which, again, that's also very expensive, Like those are about $7 a spool each. So yeah, what can I say about my husband? He treats me well. He does. Well, there are days when I complain, but overall, he treats me well. Now it leaves me in a dilemma. What do I get him for his birthday? Thank goodness it's not till January. I've got time to think. Um, but anyway, so yeah, I was really surprised because I wasn't expecting him to give me anything more than a card. And well, yeah, I love it. I love what I got. Okay, so that, what else? Oh, yeah, I forgot. I do have a haul to show you very quickly. When I was at Quilter Quilting, of course, I needed to pick up Christmas fabric. Yes, I did, because I'm running low. And they were having a big sale on Christmas in July. And so I purchased these. Well, I forgot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 meters each, so 14 meters of Christmas fabric. Um, Christmas fabric selection, I'm not finding much. Not just at Quilter Quilting, but anywhere, even online. Um, it's either really, really cute, and I don't do really, really cute, or it's really, really boring. So this was the best I could find, and they're okay for what I want to use them for and everything. But do they get me going, get me real excited? Not really. They're pretty much traditional kind of things. I also did pick up, though, some Halloween fabric because I couldn't resist. Now, this is the one time when I will buy things that are just cute and cutesy kind of a thing, because Halloween, the whole thing with Halloween is fantasy, and you know, it just lends itself to cuteness. So I bought these. I do not have a plan about for these. I don't know what I'll do with them. Um, Maybe make them into a small throw or something like that. Um, Maybe I'll find a table runner in the hoop kind of pattern. I'll have to look through my patterns that I like and maybe use those in it. I don't know. We'll see. And speaking of in the hoop things, I just purchased this morning some Christmas table runner that has gnomes on it. I'm getting kind of excited about working on that. But I have to finish the quilt behind me. So I gotta get that done first before we jump to another project. And I bought a gingerbread house that's an in the hoop design. I have a couple of those already. This was a different one and it was on sale. So that's another project to work on. And yeah, I just go from one thing to the next, you know? Well, keeps me motivated, right? New projects all the time. So, let's see here. Let me switch over. That's not what I want to show you yet. Let me switch back to me. And as soon as I can find this, it's the problem I find with this Mac. They hide all the buttons all the time. Okay, go there. All right, we're going to go over here. We're going to go down here. Don't mind me, talk amongst yourselves. Okay, here's what I wanted to show you. Just let's blow that up. And let's go for it. Okay, what is this? This is a power bank. Now, you're probably familiar with them. You charge them up and then you use them when you need, you need to charge your phone or a laptop or something like that. Yeah, I mean, they've been around for 100 years. And I've got several. But why did I buy another one? Well, you know that the computerized system on my long arm machine uses a tablet. It uses a Windows Surface Pro 7 tablet. And in August, I'm doing a 3-day course, a very intensive course on how to use the computerized software for my long arm machine. And we're to bring our tablets with us because you can go into simulation mode when they're not hooked up to the actual long arm, and you can do everything as though you have it hooked to the long arm, just that there's no long arm doing it for you. I have no idea how long a battery in one of these things will last. Now, I looked it up and they say 15 hours. But, that can vary depending on what you're doing. And I really don't want to get halfway through the class because the class is a full day. It's 3 full days, actually. And suddenly my tablet dies. And the other thing is, the power supply for the tablet, well, first of all, there has to be a handy outlet to plug it in. But I'd have to buy another one because the power supply is sort of built into the long arm. So I can detach the Surface Pro from the power supply, but I can't detach the power supply without a great deal of effort and taking the damn thing apart. So what do? Well, I looked online. I could buy another power supply, but they're expensive. And on top of it all, you still have to have an outlet to plug into. And I don't know how convenient that's going to be at the place where I'm taking the course at Whirls and Swirls. So I thought, well, I should be able to keep my laptop or the tablet running if I had a power bar. So I plugged in my other power bars. Well, first of all, you needed certain connectors to do this. I didn't have those. So I ordered a connector from Amazon. And of course, the Microsoft has a special connector, right? So I ordered one. It was a third-party one. Whether it was going to work or not, I don't know. Well, I got it. I plugged it into one of my existing power uh, banks, and no, it wasn't giving me any power. So now I don't know whether it was the power bank itself or the little connector that I bought. And I did read that for power banks to work with a Microsoft Surface, you need one that can output about 65 watts of power. Well, I'm looking at my power banks and they don't do that. They don't even come near that. So I'm thinking I need a more powerful power bank. Well, I found this one. I read the reviews. It's supposed to work with what I have and all that kind of stuff. There were some bad reviews, but for the most part, the reviews were very good. But you can see right here, this is not a cheap device. Now, here's something, just as an aside, as I look at this. I went on here today, and guess what? The price of it is less than what I paid for it 2 days ago. Uh-huh. That's interesting, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it says was $74.96. Or yeah, 98, and now it's $63.73. I may have got it at that price. I'll have to go back in my records and just check. But anyways, yeah, pricey device. But I looked at it this way. If it doesn't work, it probably is still good to have one that this powerful. Or I could take it back. I mean, one thing with Amazon, I could ship things back to them. I've done it before. I could do it. It's a bit of a pain, but I could do it. Anyways, it arrived, and I hooked it into that connector that I had bought. Nope, didn't like that. Wouldn't work. But then I thought, is it the connector? Now it came with a cable, as you can see in here, and actually that cable has the right connector end to it to plug into another spot on my Surface. So I plugged it in. Yes, it works. So I think I've solved my problem. So I'll take my Surface to the course, and if it looks like I'm going to run out of battery power, I'll just plug this thing into it and away we go. And that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. So that's why I bought this device. Okay, so what else? Did I pick up anything else this week? No, I did not. So that takes me to what I've been making in the 3D corner, and let's just switch things around. And you know how I love to make things on my 3D printer, but I have to be really honest with you. I'm running out of things to make. Believe it or not. And so I was playing around with my transparent filament. Transparent filament is basically what it says. You can sort of see through it. It's like looking through frosted glass. It's kind of cool. It can make things kind of interesting. Well, I had printed out a couple of vases. And you see those two purple ones in the background. That's what originally I printed out. I was printing them out to try the design to see how well it would print. And they did. They printed really well. Then I got this idea. What if I print them in transparent and put some of my little color changing LED lights in the bottom of them? Wouldn't those look nice out on the table, on the patio, on the deck at night? And yes, they do. And they do work. So yeah, that's my latest 3D creation. Is this a practical print? I guess it is in a way. But anyways, I don't know what I'm going to print next. I do need to stock up on filament. I am starting to get low, believe it or not. And I have found a new source for filament as well. I might buy some from them to try them out. They're a Canadian company. They've been around for quite a while, I guess, but I didn't know about them until recently. Prices seem very good on filament there. It's called filament.ca for those of you that are into 3D printing and live in Canada. You might want to check it out, or if you have checked it out and you know about it, maybe you can write me a comment about it, your experience. And yeah, I'll see how that all works out. I'm not going to order. I've ordered so much stuff lately. I need to pace myself here a little bit, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to slow down a little bit on the ordering. He says right now, knowing that probably won't happen. I know myself too well, and it scares me. But anyways, we'll see what I do with that, and maybe I'll do a little search again through the various online sites where you can get 3D models to print and see if there's something interesting. I keep looking at Christmas things. I didn't show you this, but I did make a box. Walter says that's all I do is make boxes on the 3D printer, but it's a Christmas box and it's kind of cute. It makes a fairly nice size box given the limitations of the size of my 3D printers. And it also does a lid that has a bow built into it, like a plastic bow. The idea is you could print that in a different color of filament. There is a way you can pause your printer so you can change rolls of filament. I've not had a lot of luck with that before, but I haven't tried it in quite a while, and I know more now than I did at that time, so maybe I could get around it. But then I think, what am I going to do with these boxes? Like, I don't know. But it was there. I had saw it. I thought I'd give it a try. That's usually what I do with the 3D printer. I experiment. It's a toy. It is a toy. I'm sorry if some people think it's, oh no, it's, industrial kind of wow, wow, wow. No, it's basically a toy, in terms of you tinker about and make useless things. And I'm not against making useless things, except I have a house full of useless things. I need to get a grip. Okay, let's move on. And here is day 2 of our one of our trips to Australia. Adelaide, part 1 was up last week. Lovely city in Australia. And here's part 2.
It's got that stupid sign there. Yeah.
And we're moving our way down to the waterfront of Semaphore. So there's a water park over there. Some sort here. Here. You can walk on down there. So we'll head down towards that.
much.
It's all white sand. And I guess you can go fishing down here too. Probably catch big stuff. Yeah, tide looks like it. Yes, I guess it would be. Don't know much about tides. What would these people be picking up out of the beach? Smile. So this is our hotel room in Adelaide. It's an apartment, one bed apartment. And as you can see, thought we were getting a balcony, but we don't have one, but it's not to look at anyways. But we have floor to ceiling windows and television set and a cheap stereo, sitting area, dining area, office area. Here's the kitchen, full-size refrigerator. And dishwasher. Hope the dishwasher's better than that piece of crap we had in the last one. And then a microwave, sink, and it has a toaster and a kettle. And there's also in the cupboard, if we want French press coffee, we have a French press as well. Walter's now showing off Vanna, the dishwasher, has a rack. Does it pull out any better? See how the dishes go in this one. Well, that looks weird. Okay, whatever.
Not the complete. But, well, it's because it's unlocked. Well,
Anyways, stovetop, oven, and we do have cooking utensils and flatware and everything as well. The bathroom. Shower's interesting because it's one floor with a glass partition just separating it from the sink. So there's a drain, so I don't know. I guess they're not too worried about the water running down this floor and out into the rest of it. So it's always very strange in these kind of places how they design their showers. Kind of weird. Anyways, washer dryer, both are separate units, whereas in the last place they were one and took 4 hours to do laundry. Literally, that's not an exaggeration. Hope these ones are a little faster. That's why we got these kind of places, so that we can do laundry and only have to pack for 7 days. And we're in Adelaide for 5. This is the bedroom. And, it's very modern looking, the whole place. Again, large window from floor to ceiling. But you'll notice it is missing a television set in the bedroom. We only have one TV, and that's in here in the living room. So it's 3:30 Saturday here, February the 17th. So Walter studied the map. Oh yeah, the internet connection here is not the best. So don't know when you're going to see the videos that I'm behind. This will be video number 4 I'm behind in. But by the looks of things, I'm not going to be able to upload anything until, if even then, we hit Perth. So these may be a while before you're going to see these. But anyways, I'll just keep recording them. And worst case scenario is, when we get home, I'll be uploading them all and you'll get a whole raft of them in 1 week. Okay, off to explore the city a little bit. So we're going over to the Central Market, which is over there, underneath all this construction stuff. Let's see what we're seeing. Okay, this is pretty cool. It's called the Handlebar Bar, and you actually pedal around town on this while you're sitting at the bar having a drink. Looks like fun. We'll have to look into this to see what's involved in getting on that. Maybe they only do it with big groups or something. I don't know, but it looks like fun. Yeah, I want to do that. It's like a stream. Hurry.
Huh?
Pingling hurry.
Where's around here?
Okay, so Saturday night, it's in Adelaide. We were looking for a place to eat. A lot of places to drink. I'm not really sure. My impression is that Australians drink more than they eat.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. And really, for a city of over 1 million people, so far, I can't say as though I'm impressed with your selection of where to dine. But maybe that'll change tomorrow as we go more around and see where things
You have a
go.
minute here.
We'll have to, yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. So, when in Rome, do what Romans do, I guess.
And so that takes me to events in the past week. Well, the big event of the week, which was lots of fun and where I got a lot done, a lot done on that quilt, was the pop-up sew day that I hosted on Saturday, this past Saturday. If you were there, I hope you had a good time. If you weren't there, why? You missed out on a good time. We all got lots of things done. We had some great conversation, learned a few things. It was fun. When will be the next pop-up sew day, you may ask? And I should call it pop-up sew day / craft day because it's open to anybody doing whatever they're doing. I don't know. Probably not this month. You know, too often kills a good thing. Probably I'll have one sometime in August. I just don't know when. That's why it's called a pop-up. So of course, we celebrated my birthday this week. Plans got changed. What I originally had planned was Thursday was my birthday. We were going to go out to a restaurant that we absolutely love and have not been since pre-COVID, called The Keg. It's a steakhouse and it is expensive, but the food is very good. It's always consistently good. It's a great atmosphere. It's excellent service. We love it. And I had gift cards that I traded in some of my points that I get on my points card, my Visa card, because that's why I use my Visa card all the time, to get these points. So I thought, well, let's cash some in for the Keg. So I got $300 worth. We'll have a nice dinner. So that was all there. I had a reservation, the whole bit, out on the patio. All planned, all ready to go, looking forward to it. Didn't do it. Why? Because I've been trying to arrange to get together with my sister and her husband and kids for us to do a little family dinner out. There's a little bit of money left over that I did not distribute from my mother's estate. It's not much, but it would be enough to cover a dinner out. And I checked out with my sister to see if that would be okay, because otherwise I could divide it up amongst the three of us, my sister, myself, and my brother, but my brother's out in BC, and it would amount to about $200 a piece. And I figured, you know, is it worth trying to get money out to everybody for that amount, 200? Um, and so I checked with my sister. I didn't tell my brother. Uh, and I don't think he'll care. But anyways, my sister said, sure, that's a great idea. She just needed to figure out how it was going to coordinate with the kids, because they both have jobs. When I call them kids, they're young adults. They're in their mid-20s, kind of a thing. Still living at home. Well, that's a conversation for another day, or maybe not. And her husband's work schedule and everything like that. So I get an email from her last Tuesday saying, I know this is short notice, or was it Monday? One or the other. I know it's short notice, but John, that's my brother-in-law, her husband, his work schedule has changed and we could make this work on Wednesday night. Okay. I said, all right, fine. I mean, my first idea was to say no, because we're going out on Thursday night for my birthday, and and then it would be, okay, when are we going to do this thing? So I decided, yeah, okay, sure, fine, great. We were going to an Italian restaurant that's in our area, that again is one Walter and I used to go to on a frequent basis, but haven't since COVID. And so, yeah, got that all set up. So I canceled our reservation for the Thursday night at the Keg. Now, I think I'm going to, actually later today, I think I'm going to go online, make a reservation for this coming Thursday night, and hopefully we can get there this time, because we are going to do it. But I didn't want to do two, significant dinners in a row. I thought that was overkill, and I thought it would undercut the experience at the Keg, because I was looking forward to that, be anticlimactic. So anyways, that's what we did. We had a lovely dinner with my sister and her family and everything, and that was great. So in a sense, we celebrated my birthday that night. So come Thursday night, we're trying to decide what we're going to have for dinner. And when we decide on dinner, it's like I say, so to Walter, what do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want for dinner? I don't know. We had that last night. Whatever. So we decided to go out. We didn't go to the Keg, though. Okay, so I turned 65. So when you turn, I'm officially a senior citizen. So what do senior citizens like to do when they go out for dinner? They like to go early and get the early bird special. So we decided to go out at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we went to a pub that we really like, has a huge outdoor patio, and they have curry there is one of their things on their food list. It's just really, really good. Often I will order it there, and Walter likes it too. So we decided we would do that. It's not as fancy a dining as going to the Keg, but like I said, I'm saving that. So we decided we would do this. Now, I'm making a joke about the early bird special, but we did go at 4 o'clock. The reason is this place is so popular. It was a Thursday night. It will be lined up to get into it. That's how popular this place is. It's like that any day of the week, especially through the summer, because of their patio. They have a really nice patio area, and it's big, but it fills up quickly. So we went at 4 o'clock, and even there, when we got there at 4 o'clock, there weren't a lot of tables available, believe it or not. And so we luckily got one and had dinner. And as we're having dinner, more and more people are coming in, and they're lining up. And we're talking now, well, we were there until about 5:30ish, and they're lined up to get in. So yeah, it was a good call on Walter's part, because he's the one suggested we go at 4 o'clock. So that was kind of nice too. And topped off my birthday week, I guess, with the pop-up soda. So that was nice. Now, I did get an unexpected surprise, and whoever did this, I want to thank you for it. It was definitely unexpected, very welcome, and I wish I could find out who you are. I got a notice, actually it came as a notice on my cell phone, and because it came up with my email, that I had a gift certificate for $25 from Quilting. Now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, is this legit? It looked legit. But I've been getting emails, well, I get them all the time, saying, congratulations, you've won, you've got, this, and they're just phishing things to send you to a site to buy things or whatever. You know, so I just like try to block them, but I still get them. It doesn't matter what you try, you still get them. It's just something you have to put up with. And I put them in the trash. So I wondered if this was something like that. So they had a link, but the link looked like Kawartha Quilting's links site. So I took the chance. I clicked on it. I went to the site. It was Kawartha Quilting site for sure. But I'm still skeptical. So I contacted Kawartha Quilting and said, okay, I got this. Is it legit? And Zach said, yep, it's legit. And I said, well, can you tell me who sent it? He says, I don't know. They're anonymous. They were anonymous. Because I want to send them an email and thank them for it because that was so nice of them. So when I was in Kawartha Quilting later in the week, checking out the Accuquilt, I said to Zach, now, Zach, do you know who sent it? Well, he did. But he says, I'm sworn to secrecy. They did not want me to tell you their name. I said, well, maybe give me a hint. Like, are they in our area? He said, no. I said, are they out west? No. Are they in the States? No. You're not going to tell me anything, are you, Zach? No. Zach can keep a secret. Driving me nuts. I wanted to know who it was. So I don't. And your choice if you want to remain anonymous. Okay. I just want you to know, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. It made my day. Totally unexpected. And I have already used it. Just in case you wanted it back. No, that's not it. I bought a Christmas jelly roll because I have another quilt in mind that I want to make. So it came at a really good time. But thank you so much. That just made my day. And as a little side note, just a couple of days before that came to us, we ordered Chinese food. And when I opened up the fortune cookie, it said, you will receive a gift from an unexpected source. And I'm not kidding you. That's what the fortune said in the cookie. And it did. So maybe there is maybe we should put more emphasis on what those fortune cookies say. I don't know. Well, it was a coincidence, but I just thought it was just the whole thing just made me feel happy. And so thank you. Okay. So what else in the last week? Oh, yeah. Walter's making ice cream, as I think I mentioned to you, and he's been getting right into this to the point where he bought an ice cream maker. Now, he did not buy one that actually does the freezing. This is one of those ones, it's a Cuisinart that you put the bowl in your freezer and get it well frozen. You put it in for several hours, then you put your ingredients in, and it's electric and it churns everything together, and then you have ice cream. So he's been having some fun, and I've been enjoying it too. I can tell you that, because I love my ice cream. So the other day he made rum and raisin ice cream. And what he did was he took the raisins first, and about 24 hours before he went to make the ice cream, he soaked the raisins in rum. Yeah. And made the ice cream. Now, when we first tried the ice cream, just after it came out of the ice cream maker, it was a little bit soft because it will be at that point. It's closer to like a soft serve because you need to put your ice cream, scoop it out, put it in a container, and put it in your freezer for a while. But we had to try it. It wasn't what we were hoping for. It was okay, but it just didn't have a lot of rummy taste to it. But Walter kind of blamed that on the fact that the only rum we had in the house, because we don't drink hard liquor, was light rum, like light colored rum. He thought maybe a dark rum would have been better. But anyways, we had some more of it last night. It had been now sitting for a couple of days in the freezer and that. And I think it mellowed a little bit because there was a little bit more rummy taste to it. But either way, it's still really good. Um, so Walter wants to make, though, flavors that are ones you can't readily buy in a grocery store, because if you compare the cost to making ice cream in this thing with what you buy in the store, uh, it works out about the same price. It's not cheap to make ice cream, and this makes you about 1.5 liters of ice cream. So, because you're using milk and cream and other things in it. So yeah, it can get pricey. So if you're buying it because you think it'll be more economical, not really. But it's fun that you can create your own unique flavors. So we've been trying to come up with some. I suggested cranberries and amaretto. I thought that would be good. And one of our subscribers, and it's a lady out in Australia, Nairi, and back in the day, I did an interview with Nairi. I had it on my channel way back when I was focusing more on crafting because she's a crafter. And when we had been to Australia, we had met up with her. And in fact, she's from Adelaide, which is what the videos are today on here. And she very kindly sent us a couple of PDF files that have all kinds of ice cream recipes in them. So Walter has those now, and he's going through them and seeing what other flavors, unique things we can make with this. And when I say we, I mean it's Walter who's making it. I don't even know how it works. It's his toy. So anyways, yep, more ice cream to come. Okay, so what's that leave me with to tell you? Oh yeah, got a new car battery. That's real astounding, yeah. No, I don't drive my car. Once a month to go to the hairdresser and back. That's about 5 kilometers away. Okay. So obviously this is the car sits, your battery drains because there's always a trickle coming out of your battery even when your car is turned off, right? To run the electronics and things that are in cars. And so lately I have to go out and try and see if it'll start up. And the last couple of times it does not. And Walter's had to put the battery charger on it, and then we're fine. And then we take it out for a little drive and whatnot. But it's not enough to keep the battery going. Also, the battery's 8 years old, so yeah, it's not holding a charge. So finally bit the bullet, and I called CAA, the Canadian Automotive Association. We're members. They're like, for those of you that are Americans, they're like the AAA, American Auto Association, same idea. And they have a battery service. So I've never used this before, so let's give it a try. So I called the number on the back of my membership card, got a menu system, and I thought, oh yeah, here we go. I'll be on here for days for this. No, I was not. Menu system was very concise. No problem picking out which service I needed. Hit that. Got an automated attendant on there who asked me some questions about my location, about my telephone number, about my car make and model, and then said to me that the estimated time of arrival for the service person to do the battery would be coming at 2:04 in the afternoon. I called at 1:45 in the afternoon. So we're talking 19 minutes. And I'm thinking, yeah. They said also that the person that was coming, the service person was coming, when they were 5 minutes away, they would call me. That's why they wanted my phone number. And they would also text me along the way about the progress. Yeah, sure they are. This isn't going to happen. It did. I was blown away. I got a text message telling me that they would be there in 11 minutes. And then I got the phone call saying they were 5 minutes away. And at 2:04, bang on. I couldn't believe this. Bang on. 2:04. They were here. And they were here for maybe 10 minutes at the most. They tested my battery, said, yep, your battery's not holding a charge. Popped it out, popped in a brand new one, I gave them my credit card. They had a mobile device for reading the credit card. $212. That included the tax. They don't charge anything for installation of that because that's all part of your membership. Presto bingo. I have a new battery in my car. It couldn't have been easier. So I'm impressed. Now that I was talking earlier about customer service, that is good customer service and well worth the 200 and some odd dollars we pay every year for our membership. On top of it all, the guy that was putting in the battery gave me some good advice. He suggested, because I don't drive my car very much, and the battery will drain, and he said, and the guarantee on this battery doesn't guarantee it if the battery has been abused, as they call it. And he said they consider if you let your battery run down, that's abuse, so it wouldn't be covered by the warranty. So he recommended I buy this thing called a battery tender, which is basically a battery charger, but you can leave it hooked up to your battery in your car if you're not going to use your car very often, and it will keep your battery fully charged. It has a trickle effect. Also, he says it will make your battery last longer as well. So we immediately went to Crappy Tire, Canadian Tire. We call it Crappy Tire in Canada. And we picked up one. And we picked up one that was a little bit more expensive because it did both. It was a charger, a full charger, and this tender thing. And Walter's charger was his dad's, and it's got to be 50 years old or more. It still works, but, get something new. So I bought that. So really, good advice. I was impressed, really impressed with that. Now, if they could only come and do an oil change that way, well, they don't. Okay, so what is coming up? Well, the International Stitch Marathon this Friday starts at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can do the math to figure out what time it starts in your area. It runs 12 hours. So in Eastern Standard Time, 11 to 11. Am I going to be there for 12 hours? Oh, no, I will not be. I will be there when it starts, and I will probably skedaddle around 5 o'clock in the afternoon because it is Friday night, and Friday night is my time to watch YouTubes and drink wine. Yeah, that might be considered sad. I don't know. So anyways, yeah, join us if you're around. I just want to make one thing clear. This is not like my retreats. This is more like a pop-up sew day kind of a thing, although I think there'll be a few special events, but I'm not sure what they are. I know that I'm in charge of doing a few games, so I think I've designed 3 short little games to play. But this is not my show. I am a co-host. I'm helping out, but I am not the principal planner for all this. So yeah, I just want you to know that. I have started, though, planning for my fall retreat. Do I have a date? Yes and no. I'm trying to organize 3 guest speakers that I think you'll find really, really interesting. And so I have given them, suggested dates, and I'm trying to make it all work there. I'm thinking it will be in October. One date that I picked, one of my presenters already sent me an email and said that she can't make that date. So I've given her an alternative date, and I'll see what she says about that. So once I have that finalized, when I know that I have my 3 speakers that I want to have and that, then I will finalize the date and I will send out information about it. I don't anticipate sending out information until probably the end of August, but I just given you a warning, or not a warning, but a heads up that I am going to have one again, and I am planning it, and it will be free, as it always has been. And yeah, and there'll be more details to come, but as I said, not until probably the end of August, the 1st of September. Okay, so that's it for me today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a great week. There will be an Idiot Quilter, as always, on Tuesday up tomorrow. Plus, there'll be an interview. A new interview will go up tomorrow as well. And, of course, we'll have So Chatty on Friday. So Chatty on Friday might be difficult. I'm just thinking about that. Maybe a day early or maybe a day late because I have this international stitch marathon thing. Actually, I have several things going on at the same time that day. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to jungle them. But anyways, that's my problem, not yours. And of course, Stephen and Walter live this coming Sunday. So lots there for you to view for your viewing pleasure. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. Have a great week. We'll see you later. Bye bye.